A few weeks ago we ranked race day shoes in a tier list video that I think you enjoyed, and today we do the same for daily trainers. Let's go. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex, and in today's video we have the tier list for early 2024 for daily trainers. I'm going to give you the rules once more. It's very simple. We have 6 tiers. The first one is God tier, very classic for many tier lists. The second one is Home Run, very good shoes, but that didn't make it to the God tier category. Then we have Runner's High, also very solid shoes. Then we have Runnable. Runnable is shoes that you can run in without any fancy stuff, without any highs, any lows, just decent shoes. Then we have Boring. Boring is in the title, boring shoes. And then we have the last one, is it even a daily trainer? Meaning, I'm not so convinced this shoe belongs even in this tier list. How did we pick the shoes? Well, essentially, the first criteria is that I ran a significant amount of kilometers in each of them. Significant means anything above 35, 40, 50 kilometers, depending on the shoes, but that's the range at which I'm comfortable to have an opinion about a product. Some of them I took way beyond that number of kilometers just because I like the shoes, and it's a good sign. Very often it's the shoes that will be at the top of this list. The shoes have to be available on the market today, so some of them we took the previous versions because either I didn't run enough in the new version or I simply believe that the old version is still very relevant for this video. Last but not least, this is daily trainers, so you will be missing some shoes that will come either in the up-tempo category or will simply never be in a tier list because we don't think they fit, either because they have lugs and they're like a traction or trial version of a daily trainer. We took the simple daily trainer for that, like the Novablast. The Novablast is here with the Novablast 4 and not the TR traction version. So we tried to segment things, daily trainers, up-tempo, and then race day. We have the tier list for daily trainers today. You will have the up-tempo one coming soon. Let's get into this video with the Adidas Supernova Rise, which I believe is a good shoe. The new Drum Strike foam is a good foam, and I think this shoe deserves a runner's high, so the third category on this list. That's where it belongs. I think it's a good price point as well, helping it to be a bit higher. Then we have the Adidas Ultraboost Light, also called Ultraboost 23. This shoe is really not a good shoe for me, for running at least. It's a lifestyle shoe, it's a maybe training shoe, but not a good running shoe, and therefore it goes in the last tier. Is that even a daily trainer? Moving on to Altra, we have the Fwd Experience. This is a shoe that released last year in October of 2023. I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice shoe to run in, a bit different from all the other Altra shoes, and therefore it goes in the third tier. This is runner's high. I actually had some good time with this shoe, and I do recommend it. So yeah, that's where it goes. Altra Via Olympus. This is the first version. I did not run in the second version, and this is the other daily trainer that I tried from Altra. It's quite a high one in terms of stack height. You have some cushion underfoot. I didn't enjoy the ride. I thought the shoe was clumsy, was quite heavy, and therefore it goes in the last tier. Is that even a daily trainer? ASICS Gel-Nimbus 25. I'm not going for version 26 that released earlier this year in January. I simply do not have enough mileage on this version. I'm going to go with version 25, but the two versions are very close, and version 26 is only a minor upgrade compared to version 25. This for me is a very good shoe, a bit too soft for my liking. Personally, again, you know, this video is really about my ranking and not about everyone's ranking or like a general trend. I think it's a bit too soft for me, and that's why it goes in the second tier, Home Run. Very solid shoe, and it belongs in the highest tiers of this list. It's not a God tier simply because of that caveat for my personal preferences, but nevertheless, good job ASICS. ASICS Novablast 4, we included it in this category because we believe that it can be a daily trainer. It can also be in the up-tempo category, but hey, this is our call, and I see it working very well for people as a daily trainer. This is a shoe that for me was great for version 2, also very good for version 3, a bit less so for version 4. It's still a shoe I enjoy running in, and therefore it gets a runner's high in this video. Brooks Glycerin 21. The Glycerin is a special shoe. It has a very long history with Brooks. Many people like it as a daily trainer, as a workhorse, and I surprised myself liking it so much. It's just that reliable shoe you can take out day in, day out, go log some miles. It's never going to disappoint you. It doesn't have anything fancy, and that's why it's missing the top tier. but for me, it's a home run. Brooks Ghost Max. This is a shoe that has something a bit special about it. It is super rockered in the forefoot, quite stiff. It's one of these shoes that really help you move forward without too much effort. It's a runner's high for me. Nothing too fancy, nothing too bad about it. I was about giving it a runnable category number 4, but in the end, I think I had some good time in it and it deserves that runner's high title. Diadora Cellula, this is Diadora's kind of entry-level daily trainer. They also have the V7000, V7002 made in Italy. These are different and I'm not going to rate them in this video simply because I don't have enough mileage in them. On the Cellula, however, I'm comfortable giving it a runnable category. Nothing too fancy, nothing bad at the same time. It's a solid shoe, but I didn't find it being, special enough to get in the higher tiers. HOKA Clifton 9. I have a very special version of this shoe. It's a collab with Satisfy, but nevertheless, it's a Clifton 9. I took this shoe mostly as a lifestyle shoe and I traveled with it, but I also ran in it. And from my experience, it's a boring shoe. I know it's a very popular shoe. The Clifton is something many people tend to try first when they move to HOKA, when they want to try a HOKA shoe in their rotation. They go for the Clifton as a daily trainer. Nothing wrong about it, but it's boring for me. HOKA Skyward X. This is a shoe we reviewed very recently on the channel. It's that monster with 48mm of stack height in the heel, and I just like it. I can't explain because it's super high, it's super maximized, it's super heavy, but I just like it. It's providing me with that bottomless cushion, that endless feeling of having a soft foam on the foot, a bit of PIBA, a bit of supercritical foam, and that plate in between. I'm gonna give it a good tier category. I just think it's great. KIPRUN KS 900.2. This is KIPRUN's latest max cushion shoe in the daily trainer range. Kind of premium, 140 euros for KIPRUN, which is on the pricier side of things for that brand. It's not a bad shoe, it's not a great shoe, it's just runnable. I had some good time in it in Kenya earlier this year, and my shoe is completely orange from that Kenya experience. I like it because I have good memories in it, but it's not anything too fancy, so I'm just gonna give it a runnable category. Mizuno Neo Vista. I'm not sure the review is out when you're watching this video, so this is a good hint also at how good this shoe is. It's very soft and I surprised myself liking it so much for a shoe that is super soft and super plush, but it has that plate that changes everything. It helps reduce a bit the mushiness and the plushness of the shoe and make it a bit more snappy, a bit more energetic. I can take this shoe to highway paces if I want to. It could almost fall into the up-tempo category like the Superblast, but for me it's a daily trainer, it's a very good one, and I'm gonna give it a God tier. New Balance 1080 V13. This was one of my big crushes at the end of last year around the New York Marathon. I trained a lot in the shoe. I'm still using it once every 2 weeks just because I like it. I don't need to run it, I don't need to review it anymore, but I like it in my rotation as a reliable daily trainer that has some energy return, a bit of bounce, not too much, a good fit. The only drawback is maybe the outsole durability, and even after quite some mileage in this shoe, I don't see too much wear on my, so it's really debatable and I'm not gonna take it as a drawback. This is a God tier shoe for me, for sure. New Balance More V4, the max cushion shoe from New Balance, super wide platform as well, and something that is very pleasant if you're looking for that shoe to take out and worry about nothing. It goes everywhere, it works on every surface, and it offers you quite some cushion. I like the shoe, but it's a bit too wide for me, it's a bit too clunky for me. It doesn't provide any special energy return or bounce with that fresh foam. The new version V5 coming out later this year should be quite exciting though, so stay tuned for this one, but V4 for me is only runnable. Nike Invincible 3. And I know this is going to be controversial because the Invincible is a very popular shoe. For me, the lockdown is a huge issue in the heel. I never figured the lockdown in the heel. I have some slippage, I have some movement, and I hate it for that. I like the midsole compound, but I think it's also a bit dangerous for runners coming to running after some injury or after just discovering running coming from a totally different sport. It's a shoe that is quite unstable in the heel, and many people do not notice it because they just focus on how cushy it is, and it is very comfortable, very cushioned, but it's also quite unstable. The lockdown issue is a big issue for me. I like the ride, but I cannot take it too often out just because I'm afraid of getting injured because of it. So for me, it's only a runner's high. Nike Pegasus 40. And same here. I know the Pegasus is a, how can I call it? An icon for Nike, and I get it. Many people like it because it's the affordable entry-level daily trainer from Nike. It's perfectly fine for that. And I do recommend the Peg to many people who want to start running or who want to buy a first pair of Nike, just like the Clifton 9 or the Clifton in general for HOKA. The Pegasus is an icon and something you can try as a first Nike shoe, but it's boring. There's nothing special about the Peg. There's too much ground feel. it's boring. Nike Vomero 17. To me, the Vomero is everything the peg should become in the future. It has a bit more cushion, it has a bit more excitement, it has a bit more versatility, and therefore for me the Vomero is a home run. On Cloudmonster 2. And I need to emphasize the 2, simply because the Cloudmonster 1 would have been a God tier category for me, and that says a lot. Cloudmonster 2, however, is not the same. The fit has changed a lot. The new last is wider, higher, and I could almost go half a size down, but then the shoe becomes too short for me. I like the Cloudmonster. It's a growing icon with On, but for me it's only a runner's high, and it's losing 2 tiers compared to V1 that would have been a God tier. That's how it is. I hope V3 can return to the top level and be again that great shoe that I was enjoying so much. I'm still enjoying the Cloudmonster 2, don't get me wrong, but not as much as V1, and that's why it's only in the 3rd tier in this list. On Cloudsurfer, or Cloudsurfer 7, released in March of 2023 with that new Cloudtech Phase midsole technology that many people raved about because it's just so good. It's designed by AI to make your foot transition smoothly from heel to toe. I do like this shoe. I think it's fascinating. I think the upper is a bit too hot for me. I find it also a bit too mushy, but I still enjoy it. There's one big issue, and that's the squeakiness of the midsole, that squeaky sound coming from many people, many shoes at least, with many people who have the Cloudsurfer. It's not a big issue, but at some point in the day, if you're wearing it as a sneaker, it becomes a bit bothering. So what's the tier category for the Cloudsurfer? It's a runnable category. It could be higher if we focused only on the midsole, on the Cloudtech Phase. The upper is a bit of a drawback, and the midsole is a bit too plush for me, too soft for me. That's why it's not any higher. But hey, there's another shoe, it's the On Cloudeclipse, also coming with that Cloudtech Phase technology, but it has that speed board in the shoe, helping to stabilize it and to make it a bit better. I do prefer the Cloudeclipse compared to the Cloudsurfer. It's not perfect for me, and that's again an issue with the new last and the new fit that On has implemented on their shoes, but it's a bit higher compared to the Cloudsurfer. I'm gonna give it a runner's high category, especially once I tried it half a size down at the end of last year. I did prefer it. I did understand a bit better why people were liking it so much compared to my initial review where I focused a lot on the fit. So yes, runner's high for the Cloudeclipse. PUMA Magnify 2. The PUMA Magnify was a so-so shoe in the first version. Version 2 was much better. It's a home run for me. It's that entry-level shoe, not too pricey, around 140, 150 euros. You can find it also discounted at much lower prices, but that's the MSRP. It's soft enough, but not too soft. It has a bit of responsiveness with that nitro foam. It's just a good shoe for me. Home run. PUMA Velocity 3. The Velocity 3 runs a bit like the Pegasus 40. It's a boring shoe. It's in the boring tier for me. I don't find anything fancy about it. I almost did prefer the first and second versions of the Velocity. The Velocity 3 feels like a shoe that doesn't bring anything new, anything great to the table. And so yeah, therefore it goes in the boring category for me. Salomon Aero Glide. I picked the Aero Glide. It could have been also the DRX Bliss, which is a stability shoe, and we may also have a tier list for stability shoes. Let me know in the comments if that's something relevant for you. Aero Glide is a shoe that can do many things. The fit isn't ideal. It's a bit sloppy. It's a bit too baggy for me. And the midsole, it's okay. It's one of those midsoles where I like it because I have some preferences leaning towards the firmer side of things, and I prefer that dampening effect in daily trainers, at least, compared to too much bounce. So that's good for the Aero Glide, and that's what it brings to the table. At the same time, it's not anything fancy, anything exciting, and therefore it goes in the runnable category for me. Saucony Triumph 22. The Triumph 22 brings PBA midsole to the table, and yes, it's a big improvement. However, I think it could have been executed a bit better. The shoe rides a bit as a brick, to be honest, at slower paces. Once you pick up the pace, it becomes much better, but this is a tier list video for daily trainers, and you're supposed to spend quite some time at easier paces. Therefore, it gets a runnable category for me. Saucony Ride 17. The Ride is a bit what the Clifton or the Peg is for HOKA and Nike. It's that very traditional trainer from Saucony. The Ride 17 is not a bad shoe, but it's not a great shoe either, and I didn't find anything exciting about it. I think it's reliable, and I think many people can discover Saucony with this shoe, the Ride or the Guide, if you need a bit more stability, but for me it's boring. Skechers Max Road 6. Skechers is not a very popular brand in many countries, but in the US, for instance, many people like it, and I did really enjoy the Max Road 5. For some reason, the Max Road 6 didn't bring that same joy and that same pleasure of running in the shoe compared to the previous version. I will give it a boring category. It could have been runnable, but for me it's boring, and I hope to see more excitement coming from the Max Road 7 because I did really enjoy version 5. Yeah, it's a shoe that is really different, quite affordable as many Skechers shoes, and I hope it climbs up into the tier list in the next version of this video. Last but not least, VEJA Condor 3. VEJA is a French brand that produces many of their shoes and other products in Brazil with a very nice approach about circular economy, recyclable materials and sustainability in general. I think it's nice steps going in the right direction, and I would like to see more brands going in that direction. I have to give credit to VEJA for that. The Condor 3, however, is simply a good shoe. It's nothing fancy. It's not in the best categories of this video. It's not boring either, because I think for the materials it features, it's on the very good side of things, and I was expecting something way worse. So for me, it's gonna be a runnable shoe. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this daily trainer tier list video. I know it's gonna be controversial, and all you need to understand is this is my preferences. Please let me know in the comments what you would have done differently. I'm always keen to hear your preferences, your shoes, your picks for this type of videos. Maybe I'm gonna, reassess and in a few months come up with a different list. Let's link to the tier list of race day shoes that we did a few weeks ago. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, and go beyond your limits. I'll see you in the next one.